is the offer creation workshop. So let's really dive in here. So how many of you guys here, and just let me know in the chat, online course, coaching, consulting, mastermind, or other? And if other, tell me what you sell.
Lots of courses and a couple coaching, one service so far, a lot of courses.
All right. Do you guys know what the difference between selling courses and coaching is? Nothing. There's no difference. It's almost the same product, okay? Just a slightly different deliverable. So all of this applies to courses, coaching, masterminds, software, even services. All right. So in my book, we talk about a technique called the RMS, or the Refined Marketing Statement. And what that is, it is a blueprint to how you like basically it's one sentence that defines your entire company, your entire offer, and your entire marketing blueprint. And as long as you do not contradict this statement at any point during your marketing, you'll be fine. It's sort of like a fail safe, right? All you have to do is when you create an ad and you create an email, you look back at this statement and you go, did I contradict it? Is it supporting it? And if it is, and the statement is good, your offer is good. I remember Chad, who Chad is in my mastermind, and he came in. He said that he waited 1 year to join our program and become a client because he wanted to nail his offer first before joining. And it took him a year and he could not get it going. And he had a conversation with me over chat, over Facebook Messenger or something. He says, Dan, you know, I've been trying to figure this out. I don't know what to do. I said, so let me get this straight. You've been waiting a year to come up with an offer so that you could join my program that teaches you how to come up with a great offer. And he goes, oh. So he joins. The very first call, you remember this, Carla, the very first call, he tells me his offer. And I go, well, that sucks. That's a terrible offer. It doesn't matter how good your ads are, how good your funnel is, how good your emails are, any of that. The offer is no good. And I said, why don't you tweak it and do this? And he goes, oh, I didn't think of that. So he changes the offer. That next month, he did $28,000. So when I say the offer is the most important aspect of this, it completely overrides marketing, sales, the ads, the emails, the funnels. I mean it. And I have seen that so many times. So many entrepreneurs think that it's their marketing and it's not, it's the offer. So we're going to dive in to how to create a great offer. Is everybody on board with this? Do you guys understand why the offer is so important? Yes or yes? Let me know in the chat.
A lot of yeses.
All right. Yeah. So I help blank. Now what this is here, and let's build this out. And you guys can actually participate in the chat with this. So I help blank. Blank is your market. So for instance, I help online entrepreneurs, right? You guys are all online entrepreneurs. Let's say that you were like a weight loss coach and you helped mothers that just had a baby. And your goal is to help them lose the baby weight, right? I help new moms, all right? Or let's say you have a very wide offer, very, very wide. Like let's say it's an anxiety offer. You could say, I help people with anxiety, okay? Or if you're super wide, like if it's like taxes or something, you could say, I help people. But, you know, the more specific you are, the better. So for instance, if you want to charge a high ticket price for a weight loss course, you could even go with, I help traveling executives. Because think about it. If I said to you, hey, you're an executive, you travel all the time. It's hard to stay in shape. It's hard to eat right. It's because you're always traveling. There's always different restaurants. You don't know what kind of gym you have. And I have a program where I help traveling executives. Traveling executives have money because if they weren't executives, or if they didn't have money, they wouldn't be executives and they wouldn't be traveling and they wouldn't be doing, you know, important work. So you're now going after a market with money that really needs help, and you help them through your, you know, traveling cut program or whatever it is. So you define your audience here. I help, and we can call this market. So I'm going to write this down. Your market. So everybody in the chat say, I help blank, and you tell me what your market is. And Carla, you can call some stuff out.
Aspiring consumer product sellers, busy professionals,
Okay,
adult
good.
children of elderly parents,
Okay.
business owners and online entrepreneurs. Let's see.
Okay. Good.
Videographers.
Good, good. There you see, not hard. Okay, I help videographers. All right, now here's, and pay attention, guys, because this right here, it gets a little harder as the audience, or as this statement gets built out. So this right here is their desire or their end result. So I help market get desire. Now the desire is what they want. Now this has to be a quantifiable end result, a QER. So this right here is a perfect example of doing it wrong. I help entrepreneurs get to the next level, or I help entrepreneurs break through. That doesn't mean anything, okay? It means nothing. Or I help entrepreneurs get unstuck. I've heard things like that before. Guys, that doesn't mean anything. That's just random words. You're just saying, you know, it's nonsensical. You can't create a company and a product off of a feeling, all right? I help entrepreneurs close high ticket sales. That's a specific end result. And that's something I do. I help you guys create a high ticket educational coaching offer and sell it, right? Very specific. But if I say, I help entrepreneurs get to the next level, what the hell does get to the next level mean? That could mean anything, right? Like it doesn't mean anything. It's just nonsensical gibberish. And I see it constantly in the market, people trying to create companies based off of just nothing. So you have to pick a QER, a quantifiable end result. That end result does not have to be huge, right? For instance, one of my clients sells a $5,000 program on how to book high ticket sales calls, not how to close high ticket sales calls, simply how to book them. And she sells a ton of them. So again, you don't have to be the end all be all in your market. Your program or coaching program or whatever it is can be just for one specific thing. And I promise you that will sell better if you can define it. So who here is guilty of a vague and non-descriptive desire? Who here, say me in the chat, if up until this point, you know, what you help your clients do has been not very well defined. Let me know in the chat.
Yeah, Brandy says guilty before. A lot of me's.
Now, Carla here in our Digital Millionaire Coaching Program, she is our beginner coach. And every week she gets on calls with our clients. And over the course of a few weeks, works with them to really nail this down. And you might think, well, Dan, shouldn't this just take 5 minutes? Well, I mean, if you do it right, sure. But imagine if you were going to take a plane transatlantic. You were going to fly a plane across the ocean, right? How much effort would you put into checking the engine, checking and making sure everything is good to go before you took off? You'd put a ton of effort in. And that is what this is. You don't want to take off without checking this and making sure it's good, because you can crash. Just like in a plane, you can crash. And people don't think about that, because see, you put a lot of effort into checking a plane before you take off, because if you don't and the plane crashes, you die. It's like the worst possible thing that could happen. But in business, we don't put that much effort in, because we're like, well, I'm not going to die. Now your business might die. You might have to go back to the 9 to 5. You might have your mortgage company calling up, but you don't die. But for me, I view it as dying, because I know that I'm just going to waste a ton of time if I don't get this right. So please put the effort into getting this right. So I help market get desire, quantifiable end result. Anybody here want to go ahead and complete this sentence? I help market get, just put it in the chat. Let me hear what you guys got so far.
I help aspiring entrepreneurs launch their first consumer product.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
I help local business owners get more clients.
Okay.
I help athletes get more sponsors.
Good. There we go. There we go. Wow, you guys are doing a little bit better than I thought. All right. So now this is the part where it gets a little tricky. Without blank. All right. So without, and this right here is the old method. So in order to create a brand, a product, a solution, an offer that really just makes people go, I need to buy that, you have to be able to contrast your offer to something that they are already doing or want to avoid doing that doesn't work or that your way is faster. So I help, name me one of the ones in the chat, Carla.
I help businesses build software systems without coding.
All right. Well, hold on. So I help businesses build software systems. Okay. Mm-hmm. Without. Now, the without would be the old method. So let me give you an example. Coding could be it without coding. For me, you know, let's say that we are, let me just make up an offer here. Okay. I help new moms lose the baby weight without complicated diets and hours in the gym. So you're helping your market get their desire without the thing that they've either tried, want to avoid, or just hasn't worked. So you have to identify an old method. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. You can't just make it up. You can't just think of it and go, well, based on my past experience, it's probably this. That's the worst thing you can do. That's why people have failed products. When I create an offer, I decide on the market, I decide on what I can reasonably help them do, and then I go research that market and I find out what their old method is. I do, and if you guys have read my book, I do surveys, I do whiteboard webinars, I do lives. I figure out through market research, our free training survey research and all that, I find out what they currently believe. Do not think for a second that you know what they believe. Most of the time, you don't. You will be surprised what happens if you actually do the research. And for instance, one way to do that is to go into Amazon, look at books on your subject, look at the comments, see what people are trying. V-bulletin forums, Facebook groups, putting together a free training survey, saying, hey, I'm going to do a free training, fill out this survey and asking them what they're struggling with, what they've tried. You need to understand what this is. Because if you don't know what it is, if you just guess what it is and you build an entire product and an entire marketing based off of that, it's not going to do that well and it's not going to scale. You have to be able to identify an old method. So finally, the next thing is buy, and this is where it gets the trickiest. This is where everybody messes up.
Yeah, very true.
Everybody messes this up. I see it constantly. New method. Now, who here thinks the new method is your product? Say yes in the chat if you think the new method is your product.
We got a mix. We got some yes and some no. It's about 50-50. And okay. Daniel says this is a trick question.
Not a trick question. The answer is no. Your product shouldn't even be in this statement. In fact, pretend like you don't even sell a product and complete this statement, okay? Pretend you're just helping a friend. Your new method, and again, this is where people mess up. They say, well, I help, entrepreneurs make more sales without spending money on Facebook ads through my awesome copywriting system. No, okay, no. The new method is a better way, path, or technique or strategy, overall strategy to achieve the desire that is better than the old method. Now, your product is what helps them execute the new method. So Let's just take a classic example I use all the time, intermittent fasting. I help new moms lose the baby weight without counting calories or fad diets by intermittent fasting. So what did we do here? We basically said that we help new moms, we help them get what they want, which is to lose the baby weight. They don't want to do fad diets and count calories because it hasn't worked for them. So we contrast that with intermittent fasting. And now we sell them a product to do or execute intermittent fasting easier, better, or faster. This product could be a coaching program. This product could be an app that lets them track. It could be let me give you an example. I just bought a program myself that was very good, and it's a weight loss program. And I thought it had great marketing. It's called Movie Star Body, right? And the whole idea was that he was helping people cut weight by doing intermittent fasting and counting calories and maintaining a deficit. And basically what he was saying was, look, you don't have to not eat pizza and stuff like that. You can eat desserts, you can eat pizza, it doesn't matter, as long as you stay at a 400 calorie deficit every day, you'll lose weight. And I just thought that was great marketing because it contrasts. Everybody's saying, oh, eat chicken and rice and blah, 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 blah. And he's saying, no, as long as you fast and count your calories and keep track, you can eat whatever you want as long as you hit those numbers. And his product, Movie Star Body, sold the ability to do that and make it all neatly organized. That's it, okay? So you must decide on a market, a quantifiable end result of what they want, an old method they're used to that they don't like or doesn't work, a new method, your way of doing it, and your product is what helps them execute on it. Does everybody understand that? Let me know in the chat. Give me a yes.
Yes, lots of yeses.
All right. So let's do some examples. Let me hear some full RMS statements in the chat.
Okay. I help struggling entrepreneurs become expert marketers without spending money on advertising mediums that are costly and don't bring in new clients weekly by creating digital content consistently.
Okay, so here's the problem with that. Number one, it's very long, okay? And it's hard to follow. And if it's hard to follow, it's hard to sell. Number two, see, I can't even remember it. It's so long. Read it to me again, Carla.
I help struggling entrepreneurs become expert marketers.
All right, but hold on now. Why do they want to become expert marketers? Actually, who is this?
It's Shakia.
You want to turn her audio on? Is it male or female? I don't want to assume.
I think it's a woman.
Him, her. I don't. Probably her. Turn the audio
Shakia, on. Let me turn your mic on and you can talk to Dan about this one. There we go. Okay, mic's on.
Hi, Dan. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you doing?
I'm so excited. I can't believe that I'm actually on with you. Oh my gosh.
It's okay. Hey, you can get excited when Leonardo DiCaprio plays me in a Martin Scorsese movie. Then you can get excited. All right, so let's walk through this, right? So you help struggling entrepreneurs. Okay. What's the next part? You said become what?
Become expert marketers.
Okay, so right there. That is very general. What is an expert marketer? Expert marketer at what?
I never thought about it that way. I said expert marketers because in my experience, I realized that entrepreneurs have trouble with marketing their business. So I said you become an expert marketing.
Okay, so now let's unpack that. So when you say I help struggling entrepreneurs, I may say I help struggling business owners, because an entrepreneur, a lot of people define themselves as an entrepreneur when they don't yet have a business, right?
Okay.
But business owners don't do that. If you say I'm a business owner, you have a business, right?
Right.
Okay, so from what it sounds like, you're going after people that already have a business, not people who are interested in a business, right?
Right. And that has been my problem. A lot of crazy people sign up that, you know, they don't really have a real business yet.
Right, right. Okay, so let's change it. I help business owners. Now, when you say become expert marketers, you see, when you buy a house, right?
Mhm.
Do you care about the mortgage or do you care about the home?
I care about the home.
Okay. The best mortgage officers, the guys that sell mortgages,
Mhm.
they don't talk about the mortgage. They don't talk about all the details of the mortgage. They talk about the home. It's sort of like like if you're going to go to Hawaii for the weekend, does the travel agent sit there and go, oh, the plane has such nice seats and they've got really great peanuts? Or do they say, oh, the resort is amazing. The sand is white. The water is crystal clear. You don't
Excellent,
sell
right.
the plane, you sell the destination. So
Okay.
expert marketer is a means to an end. Why do I want to become an expert marketer? No. Do I want to sell more of my products? Yes. See?
Okay.
Okay. So I help business owners. Now, when you say you help, there's so many different ways to market. What is your thing? What is your shtick? What is your niche? What is your superpower when it comes to marketing?
Social media marketing, definitely Instagram and Facebook advertising, as well as creating content for businesses. So I do postings, I write their hashtags, I create their content, as well as I create their ads to run and get them the leads.
Okay, so I help struggling business owners attract paying clients on social media.
Okay.
Okay, is that what you do?
Yes, I do. Exactly.
So what
That's
do you think is
exactly it.
more specific? What do you think is more descriptive? If you're going to attract, if I say I own a club, come to my club, that's one thing. But if I say I own a country club, or I own a line dancing club, come to my club, or I own a hip hop club, come to my club, or I own a night. So if I hear I own a club, I don't know what to wear, right? What do I wear? But if I know it's a line dancing club, I know what to wear. I'm going to wear cowboy boots and a big weird hat, okay?
Right.
And a checkered shirt and a big belt. I'm going to hold on to my belt. And I'm going to do a line dance. If it's a nightclub, I'm going to wear like a collared shirt and, intentionally unbutton the top button and show a little chest hair and all that jazz. You know what to do. So
Right.
Struggling business owners attract paying clients on social media because that's what you do. All right.
I love it.
Okay. What's next? The without. So what's the without? What are they normally doing?
Okay, so what they normally do is without social media, they spend money on advertising mediums that are costly and they don't work. So you have the old mediums like the newspaper, probably some TV ads, things like that are big over here. I live in the Bahamas, by the way. So newspaper and all that is very popular and people are now
Without wasting money on antiquated advertising. Without wasting money on antiquated advertising.
Okay.
Okay. Buy. Now, how specifically, now this is the part, and I'm going to be honest with you. When we, like our clients in our coaching program, you don't just come, okay, sometimes you'll come on a call, we'll fix your offer in one shot, boom. But sometimes it takes a few weeks to really dive in, look at your life, look at your experiences, look at what you've done and help you come up with that $1 million offer. So I'm not promising I'm going to help you do that in 2 minutes on this one call, but I'm going to do my best. So I help struggling business owners attract paying clients on social media without spending money on now this is where, as I learn, we can shift things, right? So you could say I help struggling business owners get more paying clients without antiquated advertising, without wasting money on antiquated advertising, by using social media to attract them. But I'd like to unpack your method of social media a little bit more. What specifically do you do?
I create a lot of ads, as well as we manage their accounts. So we create the content, the graphics, we write the captions, we do the hashtags. So we post daily and we create monthly advertising.
Okay, I help struggling business owners get more sales without spending money on antiquated advertising or wasting money on by using sales-based content marketing.
Love it.
Yeah, something like that.
Love it.
Or even I help struggling business owners attract paying clients on social media without wasting money on antiquated advertising by what I said. Now, here's the thing. When you come up with your RMS, you got to get as close as possible. And I believe what we just did there was as close as possible. Then you go ahead and you begin to test your market. And as you test your market, and if you do the things I mentioned in the book, when you do that, and we'll get into that later in the event, but when you do that, you now adjust and refine this statement. So you basically take your best educated guess, and then as you sell, you adjust this based on what's happening. So let me give you an example. Have you ever thought about starting a business and making a business plan?
Correct.
Okay, that is the most amateur thing you could ever do as an entrepreneur, is make a business plan, because things never go according to plan. All right. I had a nightclub in Spring Hill, Florida, years ago that I bought. And my idea was to have it as like a wine, there was wine and there was jazz, and we had jazz bands come in, and we had nice food, and it was all lit up. And what happened was, that was my plan, right? But over the first few weeks, I quickly noticed that we had an older crowd coming in, very older crowd, because it was jazz, right? And I had this thing in my head, like, oh, all these young people over there listening to jazz. No, it was all much, much older people. They didn't drink much, because when you get older, you just can't handle drinking much. And we sell alcohol, so that doesn't work. And they would have like one drink, and it just wasn't that busy. And so in 3 weeks' time of almost having to close down, I quickly shifted gears and turned and changed the idea of the bar from a classy jazz place, jazz lounge, to a cruise ship on land.
Wow.
So, right. Everything was party, cruise ship, and like we had bubble parties, and we had, and I ended up becoming the #1 bar in that town, and 14 months later sold that bar for a $300,000 profit, even though my entire family and all my friends said it was a bad idea. This bar was located in a little shopping plaza way off of Main Road. Since 1930, that bar had never been successful. It had changed hands multiple times. I was the only one to make it successful, because most bar owners, they have this idea in their head and they stick to it. So do most entrepreneurs. You have to be able to go with the flow. And so when you come up with your RMS, you do your best guess, and then over the next month or so, you test the market like I talk about in my book with the betas and the whiteboard webinars, and you make pre-sales, you test, and then you adjust. And once you've adjusted it, now you're ready to go, now you're ready to scale. I've done that with each and every product I've ever made. I don't just decide, right? I do my best, I test the market, I tweak, and then I go. That is refinement is the secret to growing $1 million business, not some secret template or secret, script or secret sauce. That's all fake. That's all BS. That's all stuff that marketers say to sell you. That's not real, right? That's just the online guru thing. The reality is yeah, there are systems and scripts and templates that will get you close, but refinement and the art of refinement and the systematic process of refinement is what gets you to a successful business. Okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. I love it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Dan. All
right. Everybody give a big round of applause for her. Woo! Can't wait till we can do live events again. I can hear the applause. All right. Does everybody understand this? And also understand why it may need to be adjusted a little bit as you begin to market? Give me a yes in the chat if that was helpful. And also let me know. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Now let me ask you this, guys. Do you feel like either you now are closer to your offer, what your offer should be, or if you have an offer, the wheels have begun spinning on how to tighten it up? Give me a yes in the chat if that's the case.
Closer and yes, lots of yeses.
All right. And guys, let me just tell you, you are one good offer away from your entire life changing. I'll give you another example. Well, this was, okay, so here Shayna, right? Shayna's not on the call, is she? She's
I
probably
think
not.
she is actually.
Shayna, you on the call?
Chad joined too earlier, right after you mentioned him.
Can you turn her mic on?
She is. Yes, she is here. And yes, I will. All right, Shayna, go ahead and unmute.
Hey, yeah, of course I'm here.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's great. How are you?
I'm doing great. We just filmed a student interview yesterday, but it won't be released for like a week or two. So I figured I'd bring you on and introduce you to everybody. So Shayna here, you have you're a coach and you have a offer for women who want to lose weight through balancing their hormones. That's correct, right?
Correct.
Okay. So the reason I'm bringing you on is twofold. Number one, I want to talk about creating the right offer. And number two, the next session we're going to go into is high ticket science. And I think this would be a great example before we go into that. So Shayna here has been my client for a bit. And she, not only does she buy everything I sell, but she also keeps a long list of all my best quotes. So I'm appreciative to her for that. So Shayna was selling a one-on-one coaching program, and just, correct me if anything I say is incorrect, but you were selling a one-on-one coaching program. You were charging, what was it, $2K?
Yeah.
So you're charging $2K. Now, so your offer was good, but you were doing it one-on-one and you were only doing it for $2K. So what happened when you started selling a lot of those?
I booked up super far in advance. I couldn't get the new people in that even wanted to join because they were like, yeah, I want to do it. And then I couldn't see them for 2 months. Like once I got real busy or then I tried to I didn't want to lose them. So I'd have to work super long hours and I wasn't seeing my kids, wasn't seeing my husband, was stressing out all the time because I wanted to help the people, wanted to grow, felt I had this awesome product and opportunity, but couldn't pull it. I just couldn't fit everyone in.
Right. Let me know in the chat if anybody here has experienced that or felt that way. Let me know in the chat. Now, Shayna, when we started working together, we convinced you, my team convinced you and you did resist a little bit, but to raise your prices, number one, and number two, offer a group coaching program rather than a one-on-one program, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, did you have a limiting belief that people wouldn't get as much value if it was group coaching rather than one-on-one coaching?
I think that I did, but the bigger limiting belief was that I was concerned about how to explain what the value would be that they wouldn't feel that way. Because a lot of people in my circle have been following me for years and know pretty much what I've been doing. And I was afraid they'd be like, oh, well, what I wanted was just me and you. And that was my real limiting belief.
So just so everybody knows in the room, a group coaching program, a group format is always better than one-on-one. And here's why. You can only think of so many issues, problems in your business or in your life or in your weight loss or whatever it is. When you get on a group call and you have the ability to hear others, there are problems in your situation that you would not think to ask, but someone else will, or problems that were going to come up that you haven't experienced yet, but you hear it. And when it does happen, boom, you know what to do. Group coaching, because I did one-on-one coaching early in my career, and I've never got the same results as doing group. And Shayna, would you say that your clients and students have got better results since you switched to group?
Yeah, absolutely. The sense of support and encouragement and especially I guess for me working with women, it's but I feel like it's with any group, it's the community aspect and feeling like they're not alone in it. And when they have a challenge and knowing, having the emotional resilience and practical tools to persevere instead of just my encouragement and just their self-talk, they have a whole community rooting for them and giving them advice and encouragement and believing in them and saying, yeah, that happened to me and this is how I got over it. It's way more powerful.
Right. Now, raising your prices. I got you to double your prices. Now, here's the thing. Who here, and we're going to tell them how well you did in the last 2 weeks, Shane, in a second. But who here, let me know in the chat, who here is scared to raise their prices? Say me if you're scared to raise your prices.
A lot of me's.
Okay, now I want you guys to pay very, very close attention to what's about to happen here. All right, because I don't want you all to be stuck in that low ticket mindset. Shayna, what was before we made you shift to high ticket, what was your best month ever?
Within maybe about a year ago, I had a 17K month.
$17,000 in 1 month. But you were overworked, you were slammed. Now, when we got you to double your prices, and I know we're going to go higher, I want you to go higher. What have you made? Because we just did that 2 weeks ago. What did you make in the last 2 weeks?
In the last 2 weeks, after yesterday, $35,000.
$35,000 in 2 weeks. That right there is on track for a $100,000 month. So we go from $17,000 a month to $100,000 a month, or even 35. You're going to make more sales over the next 2 weeks. So you're talking about, let's just say 90,000, right? Whatever. The massive increase, but you don't have as many clients. The clients you have are higher quality, and you're not anywhere near as stressed out. Is that right?
Yeah, not even close. I mean, like, now I can breathe. And I feel like that when I am showing up for them, I'm able to show up and serve so much more wholeheartedly, because I'm not like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to help you, but like I really just want to go home and like see my children that I haven't seen all day.
Right, exactly. So first of all, Shayna, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I think you're going to hit 100K this month, and if you don't hit it, you will definitely hit it next month. So I can't wait to send one of those nice 100K crystal awards out to you. So
Me too.
Right? Guys, the moral of the story here is it's okay to raise your prices. It's better to raise your prices. And once you have your offer down, we're going to go into the high ticket science here. Okay. So thank you, Shayna. I appreciate you.
Pleasure. I appreciate you.
All right. So who here now, and we're going to get into high ticket science in just a moment, but who here now is the wheels are turning in your brain that maybe you should raise your prices? Say me if that's the case in the chat.